Hi, I'm Underbelly, and you suck at producing. Reverb. What is reverb? Let's get started. Okay, so check it. Reverb allows us to make things sound like they're actually occupying a physical space rather than the cold, lifeless vacuum of our computer devices. Let's take Gerald, for example. Ever since his mother started seeing his preschool teacher, Gerald doesn't have a room to himself in the house anymore. As a result, he sounds cold and lifeless. Sad. Let's give him a room to be in by adding some reverb. Wowzers, all of a sudden he sounds a lot healthier. Maybe the room's a little bit small, so let's increase the size. Makes it nice and luxurious sounding. If we make the size real small, we can hear this metallic sensation of Gerald bumping up against the walls. Disgusting. We can also make the reverb very narrow or nice and wide, like a beautiful woman. Okay. And then finally, the decay time controls how long we want that reverb to trail out for. So we can make it go for near infinity. Oh shit. Or real quick. By the way, if you're content with putting Gerald in the projects, according to his economic status, feel free. But I would treat him to a high-class affair. Oh, wow. Sounds a lot better. You want to really treat Gerald and give him what he deserves. So that's about it for the global controls. You'll notice that the reverb is divided into two main parts. We have the early reflection side, which controls the early onset of the reverb, the first couple reflections that you hear. And then over on the right side, we have the diffusion network. These are the longer trails of reverb that carry out long after the original sound has decayed. So let's go ahead and just listen to the early reflections. I'm going to turn the diffuse reflections off. They sound like this. So these early reflections really show us the character of the room. You'll notice that over here on the left side, we can see this input processing thing. It's basically just acting as a filter for those earliest reflections. And to properly hear this, I'm just going to turn the dry wet all the way up to 100%. So we're just hearing the reflected signal. So here are just the high reflections. And here are the low. Whoa, bup, 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 bup. Over here we have the spin, which creates an interesting chorus-like effect. Oh gosh, sounds all fucked up and weird. And then over here we have this shape, not really sure what that does. And here's something interesting. The pre-delay controls the distance and time between Gerald striking a note on his guitar and our earliest reflection. So if we turn the pre-delay all the way up to 250 milliseconds, you're going to hear a delay between the onset of Gerald and his first reflection. Check it out. Oh. This is nifty if we don't want the reverb or the earliest reflections to cover the distinctness of Gerald's notes. Gives him some time to breathe at the beginning. So that's about it for the early reflections. Let's go ahead and turn those off completely and just hear the diffuse reflections. Now, these are the reflections that are going to carry out for a longer period of time, and they sound like this. Oh, wowzers. Once again, we have the diffusion network here, which kind of acts as another filter, but just for the longer reflections. So we can just hear just the low reflections to make the room sound real boomy. Whoa. Oh. Or just the high reflections will make the sound real icy. Gosh. Once again, we can chorus this out and make it sound real weird. God, fuck. And then, we have a couple controls here that control the density and scale of these super long diffuse reflections here. Jesus Christ. And if we want this reflections to go on forever, like the circle of life, we can always hit the freeze button. Maybe mess with these. Whatever. Yeah, so that's basically it for the reverb. You'll notice one very crucial thing though. Because I've turned the dry wet knob all the way up to 100%, we're no longer hearing the original sound of Gerald. We're hearing the pure wet reverb signal. So as I turn up this knob, we're essentially cannibalizing, the regular old Gerald and replacing him with this reverbed out signal. And we don't want that. We want to preserve the original Gerald and then just add the reverb on top of it. So this is why I would actually recommend placing your reverbs on a return track and putting the dry wet up at 100%. This way, we can control just how much reverb we want to hear by messing with the send knob over here. Whoa, okay. The cool thing about this too is that we can also have another woman join in on the party and send to the same reverb. So let's go ahead and try and find Sally real quick. Maybe we can send her to the same reverb as well. Have Gerald and Sally, cohabitate. Oh, it's a fun party for everyone involved. Oh gosh. Okay, so check it. If you've watched this video and still suck at producing, it might be time to sign up for some private lessons. You can schedule a free orientation lesson with me by clicking on the link in the video description below. Be sure to subscribe, you dingus, and also hit that bell button so you know when a new video is coming. I'm Underbelly. See you next week.